Now, when we get to critical race theory, we need to understand that this is just the latest iteration of what Marxists have been trying to do in this country for decades. If you go back and look at where it came from, it started with critical theory. We're talking now back in the 60s. Then it morphed into critical legal studies where it hit the law schools. And then they started teaching that nonsense there. Then it morphed into what we have now, which is this nonsense called critical race theory, which tells us now that everyone is to be judged by the melanin content in their skin, whether it is an overabundance or a lack. That is nonsense. This fight is not a fight with flesh and blood. We need to understand that. What we are fighting is a spiritual fight. And to those of you here in Loudoun County, I cannot commend you enough, because what you have provided for the country is a roadmap for how to fight this thing. If I could, I would take the core group here from Loudoun County and send you out across the country to do training sessions for how to do this, because you guys are doing it right. So keep up the good fight. It's a fight of faith for the soul of this country, for the heart of this country, and for the future of our children. God bless you all.
With that, I'd like to continue with our out-of-town guest, Josiah Gator, Program Manager with FreedomWorks. You got 3 minutes.
Well, with 3 minutes, we're going to have to catch up really quick. So I'm just going to talk about parents and what it means that you're doing here. When I look out, I don't see agitators or people who distract from what the board's doing. I see the people that employ the board, that voted for the board, and that they serve. Somehow, there seems to be some confusion about that. And when they say you are inspiring people in Texas, in Arizona, in Florida, they look to you guys. When they go to a rally and we say, well, you can set this up, you can do a press conference, they say, well, how are we going to do that? They're a little bit scared. I'm going to be called a racist. So the only force that can stand up and reform the education system is the parents. It's not the teachers' unions. It's not the school board. It is the parents. Now, I was homeschooled for a fair amount of my life. And you know what's funny is my parents always got the question, aren't you worried about their social development? And they said, absolutely, that's why we homeschool them. But what I never thought was that coming from a mixed house, that we would be talking about the merits of whether we should judge people by the color of their skin. I never thought that. Now, my father worked at HP and was asked to teach a diversity course or something like that. And he said no. He was one of the only black programmers at the time. Asked again, he said no. Asked again, he said fine, but I get to teach it however I see fit. So he comes in the first day and he's one of 30 people. Everybody in the room is white. And they're all like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? He comes in and he says, hi, my name is Lou and I think this is BS. And he proceeds to tell them, unless you are actively trying to oppress me based on my skin color, you owe me nothing and I want nothing from you. That's the house we were raised in, one of individual responsibility based on your choices and the way that you treat other people. Not a theory that takes ideas of inequity that appear everywhere. There's no way we could divide this crowd and have an equitable outcome. It's not even possible. So when you twist that and you say this inequity equals racism, equals an oppressor, it always leads to tyranny. Who's going to be in that ruling class that decides what is equitable? Because I volunteer to be in charge of everybody and decide what's equitable and collect everything. That's why this theory always leads to tyranny. It never hasn't. So what we're doing at FreedomWorks is building coalitions of parents to say, we want the choice. We are the voice for our children. We're the deciding factor for our children. We have the right to guide our child's education and to fight critical race theory. You are inspiring parents across the country, and it's starting here, it's spreading wide. realize that this is going to take time and effort. The school boards are willing to wait. Summer's coming up. They think you'll get lazy. When they go on, these agitators, when they go on vacation, they come back. We'll just slowly do this over the next couple of years. So what we're doing is training parents how to run for school board. So if you want to get involved, you can go to parentsknowbest.com and you can sign up. We'll offer you a free training over 6 weeks to learn how to run for school board. And what these school boards don't realize, every time you show up, whether it's here, Arizona, anywhere in the country, their eyes get really, really big. They're like, oh my God, the parents are coming. What are we going to do? The parents are coming. But they're about to lose their jobs. If they can't represent you, they don't deserve a job. So, couldn't be happier to be here today with everybody. It's astonishing that we have to do this, but please, for the sake of your children, for my children, everybody's children, for the sake of minorities across the country, we cannot regress. Thank you.
We talk a lot about parents in this battle, but you know what? We need all of you, because guess what? Every Loudoun County citizen, your taxes go to 65% of this school board's programs. Don't forget that. Your tax-paying money matters as well. All right. I'd like to bring it back to Loudoun and introduce another Loudoun parent, Michael Rivera.
My crew of best friends in high school consisted of a Filipino, a black kid, a Jewish kid, an Italian kid, and me. We were thick as thieves. We'd eat at each other's homes, we'd hang out at each other's places, and it wasn't a big deal. I don't subscribe to identity politics, but since I married a wonderful woman that happens to be white, my son is white. My daughter tends to favor her Hispanic heritage. According to critical race theory, my son should have white guilt and white privilege, simply because the color of his skin. That is so far from the truth, I cannot fathom it. The reason my personal history is relevant is because this issue of critical race theory transcends race, economics, political affiliation, and immigration status. As parents, we all need to be concerned that our children are being taught to see color and use color as a primary identifier to judge others. All white people are not racist or guilty or privileged, period. Right. It is not overstated or conspiracy theory or racist to sound out over and over that the political systems that were created by our founding fathers to exist for the people and serve the people have gone off the rails. The Loudoun County Public School Board is absolutely a political body, and some of the members' political aspirations and personal beliefs are driving their agenda with no regard for the desires of the parents of Loudoun County. Does it seem fair that the chair of the school board can stop the meeting because the parents she was elected to serve are in angry opposition to her actions? Activism, rallies, protests, and public speaking are good, but they will not yield the desired results we seek. It is evident by their action that the members of the school board do not care how much we protest, as witnessed by the unprofessional and disgusting behavior of one Beth Bartz. The most recent slap in the face is the appointment of Mr. Ziegler as superintendent amidst all this turmoil. Ziegler has been marching in lockstep with the board. The only thing that will work for us to achieve our goal of change is to remove any and all elected board members that are not working for us. That is accomplished with legal actions and petitions that we can move through the courts. I didn't want to be here, but this is what we have to do. There is no amicable recourse or town hall Q&A meeting solution at this point. We're past that. We are behind the 8 ball and are essentially late to the game because we now have to reverse the course of a failed institution, the public school board. Transgender policies, pornographic books, and critical race theory are now in the system already. And we must fight even harder to remove them. It would have been easier to stop their implementation, but we cannot be dismayed by the uphill battle before us. Our children's lives are the holy grail of things we can influence as they grow under our care, teaching, and moral guidance. our children's lives are untouchable. To let our children become wards of the state is an abject failure of parenting. We love our children, and we want all children, regardless of race, religion, gender, or ethnicity, to thrive and grow to be productive members of society. In closing, everybody here must become active in politics. I know we are busy, but we must make time to participate. Vote in local races, including town, city, county, and state. Keep tabs on our mayors, school board members, delegates, supervisors, congressmen, and everyone we are empowered to vote into office. If they fail us, we must remove them. Vote, sign the petition, become involved. If you do not, you will only be a talking head behind Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram complaining. And that complacency will surely cause you to lose your rights. Thank you.
He just called me yesterday because he wanted to be a speaker, and I'm so proud of him. By the way, I do not co-parent with our government. So as a parent, you're a leader in your own family. I want to introduce our next speaker. He's a leader here in Loudoun and in the 10th District, representing us as the 10th District Republican Chairman, Gary Higgins.
Good afternoon. You know, my name is Gary Higgins. I spent the better part of the last 20 years in public service in Loudoun County, both in this building and over at the school board building as a school board member before that. We created the academies of Loudoun, and we funded a school system that's now in the billions of dollars. I want to read to you the LCPS mission statement. Quote, the mission of Loudoun County Public Schools is to work closely with students, families, and the community to provide a superior education, safe schools, and a climate for success. Instead, the current school board, with the support of these people right here in the Board of Supervisors, have closed our schools, eliminated class rank, eliminated advanced diplomas, introduced quotas into the academies of Loudoun, which was supposed to be merit-based, reduced access to books published by Dr. Seuss while offering sexually explicit books to our children, implemented Marxist critical race theory in an effort to destroy the accomplishments of Western civilization. This is a reckless and divisive agenda that is tearing our community apart and indoctrinating our children instead of educating them. In just 17 short months, these folks have done everything in their power to destroy their school system. And if you think I'm kidding, look at their own numbers. Their own numbers, and this is for 2020, we don't know 2021 yet, their own numbers show that the enrollment projections this school are down 4,500 students. The actual numbers are down 2,500 students. That has not happened in Loudoun County in 40 years. The school board and the school population has been on a trajectory up for over 40 years. And guess what? Yesterday I read in the news that Loudoun is once again the fastest growing county in Virginia, the 23rd fastest growing county in the country. So it isn't for lack of children that we're losing students in our school system. It's because parents are voting with their feet and leaving the school system. All of this shenanigans has put us in the national news on a regular basis, which I guess is a good thing. In closing, let me tell you that in my view, and I said this the other night at the school board meeting, these folks are failing. They're failing our parents, they're failing our students, they're failing our community, because people wouldn't be leaving the public school system if they weren't. And they're going to blame the COVID and other things for doing that. But I'm telling you, it's the policies they put in place and the things that they have done to the school system in the 17 short months. So again, I would ask them to go home, take a hard look in the mirror, because they are destroying LCPS and the Loudoun County Public School System. Thank you all for coming out today. Thank you for your support.